how to find the right balance between self-love and kicking yourself in the ass. How to find the right balance between self-love, self-care, and lighting a fire under your ass to be successful. That's what we're going to talk about today. But first, you know what time it is. It's validation time. So please, if you are on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. It takes less than a second. Hit the notification bell so that you can get brand new videos every day to make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. All other platforms, please interact with the tools that the platform provides. Okay. If you've been following my content for any length of time, you know that I kind of bounce back and forth and vacillate between two extremes. On the one hand, you might hear a very encouraging, nurturing, uplifting, inspirational message. And then the very next second, I'm telling you that you're being lazy, wimp, soft, you need to step your game up. So why am I doing that? I'm doing that because you need a balance of both when you're on this new path. We're always talking about creating this new path for your life. And you need to do both ends of the extreme for one reason. It's hard. You know, if anything, I want to make sure that this channel never sugarcoats what it takes to be successful, especially when that success involves anything that does not follow conventional standards. So it's going to be very difficult. And that difficulty is why you need self-care. And that difficulty is why you also need to be hard on yourself. So let's talk about how to arrange those two things so that you make progress moving forward. See, people make the mistake of doing the self-care thing up front. You know, there's this whole culture of, treat yourself. You're valuable no matter what. It's okay, Johnny. Here's your participation trophy. It's okay, Jane. It doesn't matter. No. Winning does matter. Being successful does matter. Taking care of yourself does matter. Pushing yourself does matter. Self-care also matters. But the way you want to do it is you want to structure your self-care, your self-love, your nurturing to come after you've put in some work. So like especially if you're in the beginning, I'm sorry, self-care and self-love aren't really what you need right now. If you have been putting off your dream for months, years, decades, I don't think you need any self-care. You've been already operating at a level below you're supposed to be, which is not really causing that much tension in your life, aside from the, stressful BS that often comes with living a quote-unquote average life. So in the beginning, you need to just get the what up. It's your life. I always come back to that refrain. Like, it's very hard for anybody in the position of trying to teach self-improvement to force you to do anything. But you just got to look at it. It's like your life. I remember what it was like 5 years ago when I had no hope for my future. And at that time, when I was in that ratty apartment, when I was working at an electronics factory 12 hours a day for $10 an hour, when I didn't even have a frame for my bed and there was rats crawling in my walls, I didn't need self-care at that time. And I didn't use self-care at that time. The reason why you don't want to use self-care in the beginning and why you want to come from what would appear to be kind of lower level consciousness energies, which is frustration, and anger, which eventually leads to courage. I've talked about that before. Read the book Power vs. Force by David Hawkins, and he talks about the levels of enlightenment. And at the bottom, most people are stuck in apathy. Apathy is where you're just kind of like plodding along, like you're not even really there. You're just apathetic and you're just like existing and not living. The next levels above from that are things like anger and frustration. So you need to agitate yourself a little bit to at least get from that basement of consciousness you're in with apathy and going through the motions. Then, once you move above anger and frustration, the next level is courage. You start to believe in yourself. You start to think you can do it. And once you kind of jolted yourself awake, that's when you kind of use that nurturing, inspirational, kind of fluffier message to keep you sane, because it's going to be a long road ahead of you. So getting the message like, oh, you can do it, everything's going to be great, it doesn't resonate with you right now, especially when you're getting started. Because how could it resonate? Nothing in your, well, I won't say nothing, but many of the things of your life aren't panning out the way that you wanted to. So what's this light, fluffy, inspirational message going to do? It's going to go in one ear and one out the other. That's why people who are like struggling to get above, operating at survival mode, look at people who are like grinning, smiling, self-improving, making it sound easy, and they feel insulted, which is why I don't do it that way. I think people feel insulted when they're down at this level in life and you're just telling them to jump up here and be positive and happy all the time. Like, no, maybe your life sucks because it sucks. Like, maybe you're unhappy with your life because it is not good. Maybe there are things you need to change. And if you have to use satisfaction, dissatisfaction, if you have to use lower level consciousness energy to get there, then so be it. Then once you ascend, once you've been working on your project for 3 months, 6 months, a year, then you got to take time to take care of yourself, So I spent 5 years building the writing career, and I probably went too hard. I skipped too many weekends. I spent too little time with friends. I spent not enough time decompressing and relaxing. I was essentially wound up like a ball of yarn or whatever gets wound up. I was wound up, okay? I was wound up and I was high strung for that whole period because I was trying to get the lift off the ground, right? And I should have taken, looking back, maybe the only thing I would change is taking more time to take care of myself. I worked too hard to the detriment of, sleep and eating well and taking care of my body. I focused too much on work. So you want to make sure you're maintaining your body as you go along. That's self-care. I didn't take time to relax. And when you don't take time to relax, the hours you put in, they have diminishing returns. So working a 14-hour day might not be as good as just working a 6-hour day, 8-hour day, calling it quits and relaxing, because 6 to 8 focused, productive hours are better than 14 sporadic, high-strung, sleep-deprived, inefficient hours. So you want to balance self-care with hard work. But often people focus way too much on the former. It's the message of society today. I keep talking about it. It's okay. Just take care of yourself. It doesn't matter if you're lazy as fuck. Just take a little bubble bath and you'll feel fine. No. I know from my experience, I know from observing what I believe to be true about the world is that people just have this deep-seated yearning to live a better life. That's why self-improvement has existed for as long as it has. I'm not making up the fact that most people feel like they're living below their potential. I'm not making up the fact that it seems as if this sort of hamster wheel lifestyle is very frustrating and causes people to go into apathetic levels of existence. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that in order to reach something as higher level as, finding purpose and meaning, like that's going to take work. And work is often preceded by spark, combustion. An engine runs the car from explosions happening inside your car. So that explosion needs to happen in your mind first, and then along the path. Take some time to take a break. Take some time for self-care. Nurture yourself throughout the process. But yeah, there is such a thing as being soft. And I think we're moving way too close to this movement of embracing softness. And softness has nothing to do with what you look like, who you are, how much your muscles is, what sex you are. You can be a weak and tough man. You can be a weak and tough woman. You can be a weak or tough person of any gender. You can be weak or tough with any race. It has nothing to do with brute force. It's about being able to motivate yourself and sustain yourself to get to the point where self-care makes sense. Okay, You 2.0 is the book. Get that spark, reinvent yourself like the phoenix, burning itself into ashes and reconstructing. That's the metaphor I begin the book with. Beautiful book. You want this book. Buy it because you love this book and it's beautiful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share with your friends. Send them an email with the link to this if you think it might help. I'm trying to spread the word as far as wide as possible, and I'll continue to do that, and I will see you on the next video.